Very good morning, students. Welcome back to online class, revision class 8 on the topic of data structures. Before getting into the revision class 8, we'll just check it out. What have we been, the topic have been covered in the revision class 7. We have covered sorting definition, types of sorting, insertion sort with an algorithm. These are the topics which have been covered in the previous session, class 7. We'll just get into the revision class 8. The same warning note for the students for all the revision classes. Note, this information is for the students, not to skip the videos for the betterment of the students to understand the revision concepts. First, the previous theory classes of a particular topic was being covered. Those videos will be played and followed by that revision concept on the same topic will be carried out. Now we'll see that what are the topics we are going to cover into today's session. Topics to be covered in the revision class 8. Definitions for an arrays, types of an arrays, memory representation of two-dimensional arrays, row major order and column major order, applications of arrays, advantages of an arrays and disadvantages of an arrays. These are the topics we are going to see in the class 8. We'll see in detail.
For arrays, for two-dimensional arrays. So we have seen about one-dimensional array and we discussed the searching and sorting techniques. Now next we'll see two-dimensional array. So next we'll see two-dimensional array. What is the definition for two-dimensional array? Two-dimensional array again is a collection of elements where each and every element is identified by a pair of indices. A pair of indices we call even as subscript. So we have, when we want to maintain the array elements in the matrix form, when we want to maintain the array elements, so we have rows and columns. In the matrix, obviously we have rows and columns. When we want to maintain the array elements which has rows and columns, we need to have two subscript, that is a pair of indices, or we can also call a subscript. So we use two-dimensional array. So two-dimensional array, I have A of I and j. So it is having two subscript I and j, where I value 0 is less than or equal to I, the I is less than or equal to m minus 1. So when we talk about matrix, we will talk about m cross n. That is, m stands for the row, n stands for column, m into n. So what is the m here? 3. What is the n here? 3. How many rows are there? 1, 2, 3. How many columns are there? 1, 2, 3. So m is nothing but your row, n is nothing but your column. So row and column. So here even I represent I value, then 0 is less than or equal to I, and that is less than or. The ith row and jth column, we call it as ith row and jth column. We can identify by using the two indices, that is I and j. It tells us, now if I tell A of, for j you have 0 less than or equal to j, which is less than or equal to n minus 1. For example, if I want to find out what is there in A of 0 and 2, in the 0th row, in the second column, what element I have? Element 3. So how will I identify? A of 0 and 2, A of 0, 2, in this address what element I have? I have element 3. So this we discuss. When I take the row wise, we call it as a row major. When I discuss about column, it is called as column major. In the two-dimensional array, we have formulas for row major as well as column major. We discussed that now. In the next concept, we are going to discuss about row major and the column major. So now we will discuss about the representation of two-dimensional array in memory. So I have taken the matrix. That is, we have 2, minus 2, 3, 1, 0, 0, minus 3, 2, 2, 5. These are the elements which I stored in the matrix in the form of rows and columns. So So it is M into N, that is M into N, 3 into 3, 3 cross 3 matrix, M into N matrices, M into N matrix. So they have discussed the two methods how to represent the two-dimensional array. We have two methods. We have row major and the column major. We have formulas. Okay, how to find the location of, see, any element. If I want to find the location of A of I and j, we'll have a formula base of A. Base of A is nothing but the base address, the beginning address of an array, plus W. W is nothing but the number of words per memory location. Usually it will be 1 or 2. Now we have, if I want to mention the row major, I need to mention N here. For column major, I need to mention M here. Okay, that is the only difference between the formula and the row major and the column major. Since it's a row major, we have base A plus W, N into I. I stands for row, ith row, jth column. I minus L, L stands for lower bound. L stands for lower bound, plus J minus LB. This is jth column minus LB. So this is the formula to calculate the given location. To calculate for the given element, if you want to calculate the location of this A of I and j, we have to use the formula base of A plus W. W is nothing but number of words per memory location into N of I minus LB plus J minus LB. So now I'll just mention the row major. In the row major, how we are going to represent the element. See now, A of 0, 0. A of 0, 0, A of 0, 1, A of 0, 2. Okay, for the first row, what are the elements I have? A of 0, 0, I have 2. A of 0, 1, I have minus 2. A of 0, 2, I have 3. So this is for your first row, the row major. Next we have the next row, A of 1, 1, A of 1, 0, A of 1, 1, A of 1, 2. So what I have here? 1, 0, minus 3. This is for your second row. Next I have A of 2, 0, A of 2, 1, A of 2, 2. So I have the elements as A of 2, 0 is 2, A of 2, 1 is 2, A of 2, 2 is 5. So this is for your third row. So for your row major, you will represent the array in this form. A of 0, 0. First we'll take row major. A of 0, 0, A of 0, 1, A of 0, 2. Next row, A of 1, 0, A of 1, 1, A of 1, 2. Next row, A of 2, 0, A of 2, 1, A of 2, 2. This is for your first row. This is for your second row. And the next one is for your third row. This is the representation of your two-dimensional array by using the row major method. Next we'll discuss the column major. Next we'll discuss about column major. So how to do the representation of two-dimensional array in memory by using the column major method. So in the column major, again I've considered a matrix. So to find the location of A of I and j, the formula is, please you need to note down this formula for the row major and column major. Once I discuss this column major, we'll go to solve the problem. One problem we'll solve in row major. The next problem we'll solve in column major. Now location of A of I, to find out that you need to have base of A is the beginning base address of an array. Now it stands for number of words per memory location. W stands for number of words per memory location. I is your ith row, jth column. So we have lower bound, LB stands for lower bound. Now see here, we have in the matrix we have the number of rows into column. In the row matrix here we have multiplied n. In the column matrix, so in the column we are multiplying it by m. Okay, that is the only difference between the formula. Now how to do the representation of two-dimensional array by using the column major, I'll just show. A of 0, 0, A of 1, 0, A of 1, 0, A of 2, 0. Next, A of, first I take this column, next it will be the next Okay, this is for a column major. Next column, A of 1 0, A of 1 1, A of 1 2. Next, A of 2 0, A of 2 1. Next, A of 2 2. So I repeat, for the row major we have taken the row and then we just seen the column. For column major first we consider the column A of 0 0, A of 0 1, A of 0 2. So what is A of 0 0? I have 2. A of 0 1, I have 1. A of 0 2, I have 2. What is A of 1 0? Minus 2. A of 1 1, 0. A of 1 2, I have 2. What is A of 2 0? 3. A of 2 1, minus 3. A of 2 2 is 5. So this is for your first column. This is for your second column. This is for your third column. So this is how we do the representation for row major and column major. Next we will discuss the problem. Two problems we will discuss. One is for row major and the next one is for column major. So I have taken an example problem. See, this is a worked out example. So consider an array A. A is an array of order m into n. What is this? Your 25 into 4, m into n cross matrix, m into n. So your m value is 25, your n value is 4. With a base value 2000. What is here? So we'll write the given data. So we'll extract the given data. What is given? Your m value. Your m is 25. Your n is 4. Okay, with the base value, that is your base of A. What is your base of A? You have 2000. And one word per memory location, that is your W. Your W is 1. Find the address of A of 12 and 3 they are given. So your I value. So in this I can draw I is 12, J is 3. Okay, I is 12, J is 3. In row major and column major. First I will solve this for row major. Row major, the formula is location of A of I and J is equal to base of A plus W. See, this is row major. I need to multiply n with the row. N into I minus LB plus J minus LB. So this is the formula. Now I will substitute location of A of 12 and 3 is equal to, what is your base? 2000. W is 1. N is 4. Na? Your n value is 4. Your I value is 12 minus your lower bound. Your lower bound is always 0. Lower bound is 0 plus your J value is 3 minus 0. So according to your Boltzmann's rule, first we will solve what is inside the bracket. So 12 minus 0 is 12. 12 4s are 48. Okay, 4 2s are 8, 4 1s are 4. Plus 3 minus 0 is 3. Okay, so now 2000 plus, what is 48 plus 3? 51. 51 into 1 is 51. Okay, so your base address is 2051. So the location A of I and J, we have 2051 is the address of the element of the location A of 12 and 3. Okay, I repeat. So in the given problem, we have taken M, N, base, W, lower bound and just have taken what is I value and what is J value. This is not needed. So I have taken I value and J value. Now this is the formula I have applied. This is the formula to calculate the row major. So just based on this formula, we just substitute the value, we get this answer. Next, the same problem we'll do it for column major. only here we have a change. Instead of m, here we have to multiply it by m. Instead of n, here you have to multiply it by m. So here again the substitution changes. So your base is 2000 plus 1, I value 12 minus 0 plus what is your m? M is 25. 25 into what is your j? J value is 3. Okay. So 2000 as it is plus we solve inside the bracket. What is 12 minus 0 is 12 plus 3 minus 0 is 3 only. What is 25 into 3? 3 5s are 15, 3 2s are 6, 75. So we have 75. 75 plus 12 how much? 87. Okay. So we have 2000 plus 87 is nothing but 2087 is the answer for your column major. Okay. This is about your row major and column major. Next we will discuss about the advantages, disadvantages and applications of arrays, and we will wind up. Next session we will discuss about stacks. Okay students, in today's session we discussed about insertion sort, we discussed the insertion sort algorithm, we did the tracing. Then we have seen the representation of two-dimensional array, that is row major and column major. I spoke about how to represent the matrices by using row major and column major. We even discussed the formula. We solved an example, one for row major and one for column major. Now this is the last concept in the arrays. So two-dimensional arrays, we will discuss the advantages, disadvantages and the applications. Then we will wind up this session. For your next session, we will start with the stacks. Okay, now we will discuss the applications of arrays. So arrays are used to implement the other data structure such as heap, hash, tables, queue, stacks. So your first application is it is used to implement the other DS. DS stands for data structure. So such as heap, hash, tables, queue, stacks, etc. So it is also used to implement, now how we are seeing in the two-dimensional array, the matrices. This array is used to implement mathematical vectors as well as matrices. Next application is many databases include one-dimensional array whose elements are records, recorded. So many database uses one-dimensional array to record the elements. So this is about your application. So we have three applications. One is the arrays are used to implement the other data structure. It is used to implement the mathematical vectors and matrices. Next, even in the database they use one-dimensional array to store the elements. Okay, next we have the advantages. So I have written one advantage. The rest two advantages you can take from your applications. This first two points you can even include in your advantages. So only I have written only one point. It is used to represent multiple data items of same type by using only single name. The next advantage is nothing but it is used to implement the data structure, other data structure, and it is also used to implement the mathematical vectors and the implementation of mathematical vectors and the matrices. Okay, next we will discuss the disadvantage. In the disadvantage, the first disadvantage is initially when you want to use an array in the declaration part, suppose I will declare my array size is 100. So initially you need to know how many array elements you are going to store. So in advance we need to know the array size, and initially we are reserving the space in the memory. So this is one disadvantage. So in advance we should know what is the how many elements you are going to store. Okay, and since the array is static in structure, once you declare the array, again we can't dynamic see in the runtime. If you want to the memory, you want more memory. Suppose I need to store 10 elements. I have declared my array size is 5. So here you will have a error because you reserved a less memory. Dynamically it can't change it. Okay, since the array size is static in nature, so we have if the memory is less means we have a problem. So always we need to reserve the memory, more memory we need to reserve. That itself is a next disadvantage. Why? Because since array size is fixed, we can't change it since it is static in nature. So once it is fixed, so we may allocate more memory, more than what we require. For example, usually we will give the array size as 50 like that. So even in your program, in your first year program or even in your second year, you usually reserve the array size minimum to 20 or maximum you may give it 50. But how many array elements you will be inputting? Only 5. So that is where if you out of C you reserve 50 bytes, but you will be using only 5 bytes to store your elements, that is a loss. Okay, that is waste of memory. So that is a disadvantage. Your next disadvantage, since the array size is fixed, we allocate more than what is required, so there is wastage of memory. Next, the elements are stored in consecutive. See, consecutive means one after the other we store the array elements in a linear fashion in a continuous manner. So that is a problem when insertion and deletion comes. Why? Because insertion and deletion comes if it is trees or graphs, the elements are randomly stored. So there, whenever we want, we will go to that particular node, we can delete or we can add. But since here we need to traverse in a linear fashion in an array, so the insertion of an element as well as the deletion of an element becomes time consuming. That is your next disadvantage. So this is about your two-dimensional array. So we have discussed the searching, sorting, and even today's class we discussed sorting, and we winded up with the arrays. Next session we will see about stacks. Thank you. Good morning students, welcome back to our online class, and in today's class we are going to see as usual the revision for data structure. Last class we discussed about insertion sorts, like regular class also I have taken an example of array size 5, and later in the revision class we have taken array size 7, I think 7 to 8, and we did the sorting. In today's class we will see two-dimensional array. So what do you mean by array? Array is a collection of homogeneous elements with the common name and the same data type. Whereas here in two-dimensional array, again your array is here in two-dimensional array, it is a collection of elements and each element is identified by a pair of indices called subscripts. So we have a pair of indices, logically we store, okay, in forms of rows and columns. So when we have two subscripts, one is for row and the next is for column. So logically we store the array in the rows and column fashion, in the order of rows and column fashion. So I will tell you how it is stored. Now we see an array is a collection. Here the arrangement of elements takes place by a pair of indices called subscript. If I want to define, or if I want to just declare in the two-dimensional array, first will be your data type, next your array name, next will be your row and your column. Row and your column, isn't it? So even in a regular class we discussed. So how will I consider? For example, I have a matrix. So imagine, logically we store the matrices here in the form of rows and columns. So I have ith row, jth column. Okay, I and j I use. So this is nothing but your row, and this vertical is nothing. Horizontal is your, vertical is your column. So what kind of matrix this is? 3 cross 3 matrix. So 3 3s are 9. So how many elements are present? 9 elements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So what cross this is? 3 cross 3. So this is m cross n. Okay, m cross n. This is your two-dimensional array. Next, there are two types of representing the array. One is row major and the column major. So we discuss, next we will discuss the row major and the column major. So students, now see how to represent the array, how to represent the two-dimensional array. Two-dimensional array in the memory we will see. One is by using row major and next one is by using column major. I repeat, representation of two-dimensional array in memory can be done in two ways. One is row major. Okay, first one we have row major, row major, row major order. Okay, next we have column major, column major, row major order and column major order. This is nothing but your representation of array in memory. That's especially representation of two-dimensional array in memory. One is by using row major and column major. So I told ith j and row j column. So the range is from 0 is less than or equal to I, which is less than or equal to m minus 1. Again 0 less than equal to j less than equal to n minus 1. Okay. Now we'll see the row major. What is the formula? They'll ask you in the formula, like in the regular class I discussed. They'll give you a problem. They may ask you to find the row major for that. Now this is the formula to calculate the row major. Okay. So I have location A of I and j. If I want to find the location of any element, so how will I find? I need to have the base address, that is the beginning address. Next, W stands for words per memory cell. Okay, the words per memory cell, it can be 1 or per means per 1. If it can be 1 or it can be 2. Okay. Now n is for the column, I is for ith row, jth column, minus LB stands for lower bound. So when you substitute here, you will find the for row major, column major. Okay, column major is also same. Next we'll see column major. See, for column major, location of A of I and j is equal to base of A plus W into I minus LB. Here you are multiplying, see, for your column you are multiplying M into j minus LB. For row we used to multiply it by n, for column we used to multiply it by m. So you need to keep these two formulas in your mind. One formula for row major and column major. In the regular class I solved a problem, one problem for row major and one problem for column major. Like that, if at all they ask you to find the row major and column major by giving the problem, you can easily solve it. Next, what I have not done in the revision, next we have discussed about the representation. We have seen how I used to represent. In the regular class, you please go through those representation. Here only I am briefing, I am only revisioning. So next, here what I have not discussed is I will explain you in terms of implementation. How they implement the row major and column major by using C++. Okay. Now we will see how to read and print the elements in column major order. How to read and print the elements in the column major order. The given element will be in row major. How to print that in the column major is your task. Okay, that's your problem. Now what we should do, we have to include the necessary data files. The program starts from the main function. Now here I have given the declaration. So of integer 5 cross 5 matrix. So this is the size array size 2-dimensional array. We have two subscript. One is for row, one is for column. Now I have I for row, j for column, r for number of elements, m cross n and the so r is for row, c is for column. Now enter the order. So we are entering rn. So imagine I am entering r is 3, column is also 3. That means 3 rows, 3 columns. Okay, now don't get confused. This is what maximum memory I am reserving. This is what I am allotting. I am giving 3 cross 3 matrix. So enter the elements. So what are the enter the order? 3 cross 3. Enter the elements. See, I am entering like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So when you enter, logically it will be stored in the memory like this. Okay, it will be stored in the memory like this. So this is for I, this is for j. Okay, so it is stored like this. Now the matrix in the column major order is given for, now we will see the logic. For I is equal to 0, I is less than 0 is less than 3, yes 0 is less than 3. Again for I is equal to 0, j what is your j value? Okay. See what is your j value? J value is also will be 0. So 0 is less than 3. Yes. Now j plus plus. Okay. We have j plus plus. This is not I. This is j. Okay. J is equal to 0. J is less than 3. Now j plus plus. Now how it will print? Here we have 1, 2 and 3. So what is j is equal to 0? I is also equal to 0. So 0, 0, 0. 0, 0 position what I have? 0, 1, 0, 1, 2. So a of 0 and 1. A of 0, that is a of 0, 0. I is also 0. J value is also 0. So what I will print? I will print 1. Okay. Next. J value gets incremented. Now 1. 1 is less than 3. Okay. 1 is less than 3. Yes, the condition is satisfied. What is a of 0 and a of 1? 0 and 1 I have 2. Okay, 0 and 1 I have 2. Now again j value. Okay, so you have any doubt? 0, 0 it is 1. So what is 2 I tell. Next, 2 is less than or equal to 3. yes, condition satisfies. What is there in A of 0? A of 0 I have 3 and A of 2 I have 0 and 2. 0 and 2 I have 3. So I should write here 3. Okay, fine. Now 3. 3 is not, as j value gets incremented, 3 is not less than 3. Okay, the condition fails. Again I value gets incremented to 1. So when I value gets incremented to 1, j value is 0. What is I value is incremented to 1. Here in the next loop, I value will be incremented to 1. So j value will be as it is 0. So 0 is less than or equal to 3. Yes, the condition is true. I value is incremented to 1. So what is 1 and 0? I have 4. Okay. Now again j value gets incremented to 1. 1 is less than or equal to 3. Yes, the condition is true. I is 1. J is 1. So 1 and 1 I have the element 5. Okay. Next again j value gets incremented to 2. I will be 1. 1 and 2 what I have? I have 6. Okay. Again j value gets incremented to 3. 3 is not less than 3. The condition fails. Okay. Condition fails. So we have only what to tell, the matrix here. Again the condition fails. Again if I come here, I value will be incremented to 2. But 2 I don't have any elements. Okay. We have only 2 rows. Okay. This is 2 cross 3 matrix. Sorry, this is 2 cross 3 matrix. R I should take only 2. Okay. Then so see, while considering in the beginning, we wrote 3 cross 3. This is not 3. How many rows? 2 rows, 3 columns. So 2 cross 3 matrix. So R value is 2 and C value is 3. So 2. When I increment I value 2, 2 is not less than 2. The condition fails. The outer group is also satisfied. So the array element. So the matrix in the output will be the matrix in column major. The matrix in column major order. The matrix in column major order is 1, 3, 5, 2, 4, 6. See again this is also 2 cross 3 only, but you see this is in the column major. You see this is in row major. This will be a confusion for you. So this is I did for the tracing purpose. Now see, this is the original matrix. So this is 2 cross 3, but this is row major. Okay, this is column major. So I repeat once again. So see, I have taken R value is 2, C value is 3. So how many rows I have taken? 2 rows and 3 columns. I is for row, J is for column. So while reading the elements, initially we are storing, assume that. So I is 0, 0 is less than 3. Yes, now J is 0, 0 is less than 2. Okay. So we used to store the elements in this order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now the matrix in column major order, first initially what I had, I value is equal to 0, I value is 0, 0 is less than 2, yes, condition satisfies, again will come here, j value is 0, 0 is less than 3, yes, condition satisfies. Now what I will print, A of I and j, A of I is 0, A of j is also 0, so A of 0, 0, what I have A of 0, 0, I have element 1, so 1 I will write. Again j value will be incremented to 1. Okay, I value will be constant, that is same, that is for loop, that outer loop will be constant. Now in this till the condition satisfied it will be 0 only. So 0, so A of 0 and 1, okay, j is 1, A of 0 and 1 I have 2. Okay, now again j value gets incremented to 2. Okay, 2 is less than 3, yes, condition satisfies. What I have, 0 and 2. 0 and 2 I have 3. Okay. Now again j value gets incremented to 3. 3 is not less than 3. Condition fails. Now I value will be incremented to 1. 1 is less than 2. Yes, the condition fails. What is A of 1 and j value? Again it will be 0. 0 is less than 3. Yes, condition satisfies. Now here I value is 1. 1 and 0 I have 4. Next again j value gets incremented to 1. So 1 and 1. 1 and 1 I have the element 5. Again j value gets incremented to 2. 2 is less than 3. Next, the condition satisfies. What is their I value? 1. 1 and 2 I have the element 6. Okay. So this is how we are converting the row major into a column major. So this is your row major. This is your column major. Okay. So the advantages of array and disadvantages and applications. So I have explained in the regular class. Please make a note of it. So for the today's revision schedule, what we discussed the two-dimensional array, rows and columns, how it is being represented. Then I have given you an example program. Remaining concepts we will discuss in the next class. Okay. Thank you, students. Remaining concepts we will discuss in the next class.
Before starting assignment questions, we'll just check it out. What are the topics we have been covered in today's session? We have discussed about definition for an array, types of an arrays, memory representation of two-dimensional arrays, row and column major orders, applications of an array, and also we have seen the advantages and disadvantages of an arrays. These are the topics which we have covered in this session. Let us see what are the questions for today's session. The topics which we have covered in today's session, we don't have any 1 mark questions, 2 mark questions and 3 mark questions. Here we have concentrated on 5 mark questions. Let us see what are the questions we have. The first question, explain the memory representation of two-dimensional arrays by using row major order. Explain the memory representation of two-dimensional arrays by using column major order. Third question, explain the advantages of an array. Fourth question, explain the disadvantages of an array. Fifth question, explain the application of an arrays. We'll come again. The first question is, explain the memory representation of two-dimensional arrays by using row major order. Second question, explain the memory representation of two-dimensional array by using column major order. Third question, explain the advantages of an arrays. Fourth question, explain the disadvantages of an array. Fifth question, explain the applications of an arrays. We have 5 questions on today's session. We'll see you again. Thank you.